And we are live. Welcome. It is the Ski Bum Podcast, episode number 344, and it is your pals Mario and Brian. Mario, what's up?
It's feeling good to be back on the podcast. It's been a little bit.
Feeling good? Yes, it has been a while. We've been busy. We got things have been going on, but
We've
we're
all been
back.
sick.
Been
Sick
sick.
as shit.
I've been around sick people since Christmas. I've been sick. Didn't stop me from going out a couple times last week, getting some skiing in, which was awesome.
Nice.
And I'll talk about my boots, which is also part of the main topic. We're talking about booty. Talking about booty.
Booty boots.
Boots.
Booty boot.
Boots.
Booty call.
Things are changing in the boot world. Not really changing, but there's been some evolution. There's some new ideas. There's some new technology that's coming out, which is pretty awesome because it seems like boots are one of those things that unfortunately have not changed enough to make them kind of fun, comfortable, exciting, but things are moving. So we'll talk more about that in the main topic. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We're on the socials, Instagram, X, Facebook, Untapped, YouTube, at Skibum Podcast. Send us an email. Let us know what you think. skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Do you want to be part of this? Do you want to join us? Do you want to help grow the podcast? Patreon.com/skibumpodcast. We got a couple tiers. Check us out there. We also want to give
It's
a
like
big
the OnlyFans for non-attractive people, right?
Well, it's like OnlyFans, but there's not a lot of butthole pictures, which,
you might see a
good or
nipple
bad.
once in a while, but it's a man nipple that's not really great.
If you're a top tier $100 a monther, we'll throw you some nip shots.
Maybe even a belly button.
Perhaps. So we gotta give a big thank you to folks at 10,000. You gotta keep working out. You gotta stay in shape. You gotta be ready for ski season. Go to 10,000. 10,000.cc. Athlete-led design. Test, iterate, repeat. Iron sharpens iron. Their motto is better than yesterday. The heart of 10,000 is the idea of pursuit in business, fitness, skiing, and life. They believe in moving forward with a quiet dedication to constant improvement and to becoming just a bit better than you were yesterday. Go use the code BSchneider15 for 15% off. I have a kind of a crazy story. I know we were talking about our injuries a few months ago, and probably from mid-October till recently, I was having some knee problems. And I was wearing different braces. I was wearing brace layer for working out. It just having it just hurt, like it wasn't terrible. I could still work out. I could still do stuff, but you felt it. It kind of hurt. For some reason, when I went skiing for the first time this season, because I was worried about skiing, I was like, oh man, like if I do all this stupid training and then I can't ski, like that's stupid.
Snap your knee.
Dude, I went skiing 2 days. My knee felt better. My knee felt better after I went skiing. Can you believe that?
Skiing healed your knee. How about that? That's a book right there.
Skiing healed me.
That's a book right there. It writes itself.
Well, it's like our friends the Delanas, like how Ryan was saved by skiing. So, it really is a magical sport. But we can talk a tiny bit more about that later. Thank you again so much for listening. Mario, let's kick this off the way we always do. The good old app parade today.
All right. So today's been it's early in the week. It's a Monday. Is it today's Monday? Fuck yeah, it's Monday. So
it's a weird Monday because it was a holiday and it was inauguration day. A lot going on.
All kind of blurring.
A lot going on.
And of course, I didn't get off for MLK Day today. I just had to work like a chump. So didn't seem like a vacation day or a day at all. So just kind of weird Monday. But anyway, didn't do my normal multi-opera kind of thing. I'm just trying to ease into the week. I did have a bourbon before, of course, my bullet, but that's not my opera. So my opera is
this is Monday.
This is Monday, but I've been forgetting about the. I ordered this online. I saw it. I was very interested, and I've tried it. It's not bad, and I'll show you. It is the Little Saints Saint Ember, I believe is what it's called. Yeah. The Little Saint Ember. So what this is it's a drink, a spirit that's made out of, this one is mainly lion's mane mushroom. So it's a mushroom drink that you can use, non-alcoholic. So there's no hangover, nothing. It's all the benefits. They say it's supposed to give you like a little feeling of euphoria, a little high feeling, but it's actually really good for your body. So I decided to try it. I wrote to them, didn't get back to me. So they're kind of a bunch of assholes for that. But I get it. They're probably busy. They do cool like Instagram posts and advertisements, but they were actually on Shark Tank and they told Shark Tank to go fuck themselves. So that's why I like them even more, because I'm like, yeah,
Take
they
that,
can
Mr.
do it on their
Wonderful.
own.
Take that,
That's
Cubes.
right. Take that, cue ball. I got you. It's pretty cool. Like they have really good ads. So I figured, let me try it out. And I think Sprouts or Whole Foods carries, like they have some premixed like cans cocktails. This is just like, it's like a flavored spirit, and it has like a little smoke flavor, a little spice to it. This would be great in a Bloody Mary. I have not used it in a Bloody Mary yet. I just drink it straight, sometimes with like a little bit of juice or something in it. And it's kind of nice. I actually throw a little weed, drinkable weed in there, and that's puts it right over the top.
You're just quite the horticulture cross. You're like a mad scientist of horticulture there.
It's all natural. Why not? It's not bad for you, right? So I'm gonna live forever, because people are gonna be like, "How the hell did this guy survive?" They'll be like, "He was drinking mushroom shit and weed stuff and like living the dream." So it's really good. It's got a good flavor. I like it straight. It tastes like the spiciness of ginger, but not total ginger. It's like a little hint of ginger. But it's got that spice, which is cool. And then it's got like some kind of heat. Like that's what I'm saying. This would be great in like a Bloody Mary, if you're in the mood for a Bloody Mary, because it has that little bit of spice, like peppery spice in it. It's good. I mix it with stuff. They say it's supposed to be good for you. I mean, lion's mane, I know they have supplements and stuff like that. So they're saying it's an alternative to mezcal or tequila in your favorite cocktails with a little bit of spice. So they're saying ginger peppers, wild woody Palo Santo infused with 100 milligrams of lion's mane's mushroom per serving. So,
oh, there you go, lion's mane. Love that.
Yeah, supposed to be a functional, non-psychoactive mushroom that ignites creative power and may inspire a subtle euphoria. And Palo Santo is like terpenes. Palo Santo is an aromatic mood boosting, and according to ancient heroes, dispels negative energy. I don't know about that, but the lion's
As
mane,
long
you
as
got
you
me
have
on
your
the mushroom.
crystals, you have your crystals with you, and all, dream
That's right.
catchers. It'll help dispel negative energy, man.
As you do that with a little bit of weed, or have that in between your bourbon, oh, it's fantastic.
There you go. Now
But
you're in
yeah,
business.
I gotta say, I never did the dry January, but I guess this is another thing that people could do instead of the dry January. It's not cheap; it's pretty expensive, but I'm thinking about this whole mushroom deal. Like, there's a lot of healing, nutritional powers to mushrooms that are unexplored, I think. So, bottoms up.
Bottoms up. Love it.
Yeah, it's nice and clear. So, almost looks like a vodka. But the little commercials they have on Instagram are funny. They're like just drinking it right out of the bottle, just running around and shit. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. I too,
How about you,
Mario,
Brian?
have never partaken in dry January. I find it silly, and I think anything that a lot of people do. I've never been a follow the crowd guy. I've always been concerned about
You
crowds.
could
I
do the
never
opposite. Do Hammer January. What do you think about that?
just getting crunk January, like crunkuary.
Crunkier. Hey, it's
Yeah,
my birthday month. I can do whatever I want. The whole
this is
month is
true.
just caution to the wind.
Happy belated birthday as well.
Thanks, man.
It was last week. I know. You're going to celebrate next week, or a couple weeks. You're going to be going out to Switzerland, doing a little skiing. Which next week's podcast will be I think a good preview of your
That
trip.
could be a preview.
Yeah.
Shit that we have set up.
So part of the reason why things have been so crazy in the last couple of weeks, at least part of my thing, I've been having refrigerator issues. Now, I don't know about you,
Ooh,
but I remember as a kid when your parents bought a refrigerator, it seems like you would have that for 80 years. They would just last forever.
it
They'd
was a
never die.
family fridge.
The
The
family
family fridge.
fridge, it would never die. Now apparently fridges are $3,000 and last 10 years. Like if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
That's
Yeah.
sort of the new mojo, the new vibe. But you know, a stupid light comes on, or you can get a TV, or it's connected to the Wi-Fi, which is so important for your fridge. So our fridge, we've had it. I mean, we've lived in this house for almost 8 years. It's been there ever since. And I looked inside the fridge, and it said manufactured. I think it was 2010 or 2012. So it's been over 10 years, like by far, like at least a couple over. And Thanksgiving, it stopped working for like a day.
Oh,
And then it started working again. I'm like, oh, maybe I just left the freezer open and it just was stupid and thought it was off and
you ever
whatever.
notice those happens around like the worst time, like
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, when you probably have the
And
most food in your fridge?
so, like, in my head, I'm trying to find an excuse why I don't need to buy a new fridge, you know? Like, kind of do that
Mm.
thing to yourself. It was good for a couple weeks and then stopped working for a day. And then it worked. And then Christmas Eve, it stopped working, which was awesome.
Damn.
And then it started working again that like later that day. So after that, we're like, we gotta do something. And
Did you move it out on the deck because it's cold as shit out there?
well, no, it was like, oh no, worm spell, crap, stopped. But I will tell you now, I went to they have all the sales before the end of the year, and I will show you that my freezer actually makes
Balls.
balls.
Nice.
It's got two different drawers, one for craft ice and one for little chips. And it also has the thing on the outside where it makes regular ice.
That's fancy style.
Just wanted to brag about that because when you
You
spend
got balls.
$3,000 on a fucking refrigerator, you get something for it. You get Death
If you
Star
get
shaped
balls, that's
ice
good.
cubes. Now I dropped one of them because it was stuck. So let me pick that
Oh,
up.
it's a runner.
How did it go? She's gone. The hell did
You
it
got a
go?
runner. That thing's gonna run around and it's gonna like short something out in the basement there.
Oh my god! I can't stop, won't stop. I don't know where the hell. There it is. All right.
I'm just drinking my lion's mane shit right here.
I won't be drinking that one.
No, you can't wash it off.
Man, I don't know what walks around here on this floor at night. So,
Yeah.
so anyway, I want to start with that as my kind of interlude.
Nice.
And now again, I wasn't trying to get a fancy fridge. I need to get a very particularly not so narrow fridge because we did molding in our house, and when we did the molding, we changed the doorway into our kitchen and put, I don't know if it's 1 inch, half an inch slabs to make it look fancier. And when we did that, my wife's uncle, who we did the woodworking with, was like, "Oh, it's going to reduce the width of your door frame. Do you care?" I'm like, "Nah, why would I care about that?" Lo and behold, you could only fit a fridge of a certain size into the house because how much width it took away. I had to
Oh.
get a counter depth sized fridge, so
Oh wow.
I'm losing some refrigeration footage. So I had to find a very
Cubic
particular
cubic
size.
inches, right?
It's just the depth. We
Cubic-
couldn't get a bigger fridge in
Oh
depth
wow.
wise. Yeah, so that was the whole
It's good that
ordeal.
you measure that rather than just going out buying, but like, I like that fridge. It's nice and big, and you're like, I can't fit it in the damn house. Then you got to take a
Ex-
sawzall to the door or something.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
you
So
take out a window to put the fridge through.
so I got my new fridge, which has the fancy balls, and I decided because again it was inauguration day today. In case anyone didn't know, Donald Trump is now officially the president,
Boom.
and one of the first things he did signed a bunch of executive orders, and a lot of it was regarding Mexico and the southern border, and now um, the cartels have been declared as terrorist organizations. And as someone who likes drinking tequila, I don't know what that's going to do to the tequila market. So
Oof.
I decided
I'm
today,
glad I didn't know you were going with that. I didn't know if it was like as somebody that's part of a cartel. Like,
some
whoa, whoa.
as someone with ties to the cartel and someone who loves taking fentanyl rectally, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself going forward. This is going to
I don't know what
change
to
my
do.
world in
It could have
ways
gone a lot of ways.
it could go Breaking Badish. I don't know. But anyway, I realized, I don't know what's going to happen to tequila. Is it going to go up a ton in price? Everything's so expensive. Will it come down in price? I have no idea.
Should
I don't
just
really
buy a
care.
shit ton of it just in case.
All I know is I got this bottle for my birthday, and it's like a
Oh,
crazy. It looks like a
nice.
kind of a melted bottle. Uh, what's it called? Adictivo tequila. It's 100% agave, Tanejo.
Nice.
I've had a little bit of it, and I thought today would be the right day to have something like this
I've seen
because
that before. Now, is there a little bit in the top too?
there is, which is that good, bad, stupid. Oh yeah, it's actually look, check this out. You open it up, and it's got like a little.
Oh, that's like a little
It's like saving it for later.
like
It's
the
like a
little
little
shot
grenade.
glass, like the little tiny one, little sampler.
That's what 1800 used to do. They used to have the thing in the top that you could pour it and then pop it off, but it was really messy. It didn't really
Ah,
work very well. There was a commercial with Christopher from The Sopranos. Kind of, he was the spokes guy for it. He was like, "You
huh.
poured me a shot." And he looks at the Patron bottle. It's like, "What did you ever do for me?"
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. But yeah, it's a little shot on top. And look at this. And I got my special glass that some people are gonna hate.
Nice. I like that.
Not that I care.
And your fancy balls in there.
My
Put
fancy
your
balls.
balls in your
This
drink.
see, this is what it's like. This is what victory looks and feels like. Bullet glass
Nice. Drink to that.
with some tequila and a big old fancy ball of ice. I will tell you, this tequila is very sweet,
Yeah.
which is a little odd. It's good, tasty. It's got that
Hmm.
kind of tequila-ish agave burn to it. It's the alcohol. That's 40%.
A little
Nothing
too
crazy.
much on the sweet side.
It's a little sweet. This would be really, really, really good in a margarita, but it definitely sippable. I think once the ice melts a bit, it's gonna mellow it out. But it's sweet, very like on the when you first taste it, and then it kind of gets a little hot as you get deeper into your tasting session. But it's
Sweet and
very
hot.
drinkable if you're a tequila fan. It's not quite as anejo-y as other tequilas because I think an anejo is aged at least 3 years. It's not bad. Again, a little sweet, but definitely tasty and sippable, but would be great in a cocktail.
Nice.
So that's my app right today.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Sounds like
you were
we're well
mentioning
on
how
our
your
way
drink.
to a yeah.
Well, you mentioned your drink is substitutable for tequila, which is hilarious because we didn't even talk about this beforehand, and I had the tequila,
Oh,
so it's kind of like we had the yin and the yang, the good angel,
yeah,
bad devil on your shoulder. Like that's us.
that's right. That's the
How
good
we do it.
version. This is the bad version, or vice versa,
Just kind of
depending on how you look at it.
it's just serendipity. That's how it works. Well, with that,
Dippity do.
I think it's time to jump into the good old ski news. So first off, this is not a great story at all. It's actually kind of a very, very sad and awful story, but bull wheel failure injures 15 in Spain. The top bull wheel detached from a chairlift in Spain, injuring more than 15 people. The incident happened in Estune, a resort with 15 lifts located in the Pyrenees. Without a bull wheel retention device, the bull wheel came to rest vertically and the lift rapidly lost tension, causing chairs to contact the ground along the line.
Damn.
The lift deroped on numerous towers and chairs could be seen mangled with an evacuation underway. The government said 3 people were seriously injured with helicopters shuttling people to hospitals. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez posted on X that he was shocked by the news of the accident at the Estune station and offered full support to local authorities and the victims. The lift that failed is a 1989 fixed grip quad called Canal Roya. It was constructed by Spanish manufacturer REAC, which does not have any installations in the United States or Canada. The incident appears similar to the 1985 Teller lift accident at Keystone, which killed 2 people and seriously injured 49. That lift was constructed by Jan, and an investigation revealed a faulty weld caused the top bull wheel to detach.
Damn, how do they figure that out? A faulty weld. So I know they go through it like forensically with a whole bunch of like analysis, but I'm like, so they're okay saying it's a faulty weld.
I mean, they probably saw something. I mean, there's only so many parts that they can look at, and you look at
Yeah.
them, and I guess it must have stood out enough, made it and was noticeable enough that they were able to make that determination.
Wow.
And it's one of those things as a
That's not a
skier or
small thing to
snowboarder,
fall off, man.
not at all. You know, it's one of those things as a skier or snowboarder, it's a reality that we try not to think about, but sometimes we are just forced to think about it. You know, you're on the lift, and I know a lot of times I'll be sitting on the chairlift being like, I could probably jump from here and be okay. I
Huh.
probably couldn't jump here and be okay. You know, you kind of have those thoughts in your head. But every time you go up, like, you know, these are imperfect devices, you know, run by imperfect people. So it's just something, yeah, that we just have to, you know, always be aware of, and you know, also just give love to all the engineers and lifties and all those who maintain these things, because without them being on top of things and noticing, and because you know, whenever the
Not like you
chair,
can do anything about it, right? You got no choice.
right.
You got to ride the
Well,
lift.
think about when a lift breaks down, or doesn't work, you're like, oh, why is this lift working? It's like,
Yeah.
well, maybe there's something that you know wasn't fixed or addressed, could lead
There
to
was an
you falling
alarm
to your
that
death.
went off. Maybe that's
Yeah.
part of why it broke, what stopped, right?
It's like,
You hope.
maybe think about that for a second, because when you take a, you know, just take a couple seconds to think about the possibilities if they didn't stop it and check it and make sure things worked correctly, it could be
Yeah.
really bad. It's
Yeah, I
something.
always get the willies like when you start thinking about it, when you're up there like 50, 100 feet off the ground and you're looking at it, you're thinking it. I always think to myself, I'm like, why do we have to be so far above the ground? Why can't we either be pretty close to the ground, on the ground? Could there be like a roller coaster ride instead of like a lift? Like, why do I have to be suspended way above the ground? Like, is that the most efficient or safest? I don't know.
Well, I think part of it too is if you were low, imagine people like skiing into chairlifts all the time,
You
or
got a
like if you have
bubble,
to play
go through a
like,
tunnel.
you got to play Frogger to like miss the chairs coming across.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Or it could just eject you out.
Would be something. I
It'd be
mean,
something.
if you
That's
have the bubble lifts, then it wouldn't be so bad that people just bounce off the bubbles.
there you go. Yeah, I wonder if anybody's thought of a better way. Maybe tunneling through the mountain and then put you up in an elevator and then you're at the top
Yeah.
of the mountain. I don't know.
Well, I was telling you guys on one of our little private text messages that I just at night now I'll just put on YouTube videos in just Switzerland, just different train videos in wintertime.
Nice.
Zermatt has the best system because they have the Gornegrat train. If you could take a train up one time during the day, that's the perfect way. That's probably the least amount of issues you
How
can
long ago
have.
did we do that? That had to be
It's
like what, almost
2012.
10 years ago?
It was 2012.
More than 10 years ago.
Yep.
So think of how spoiled we were and we didn't really appreciate it. Now we're looking at like it's not like a regular thing. Like that is a unique thing to that mountain. They
Yeah.
got the cog train that goes up the mountain. It's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
It's incredible. Yeah. It's something that it's unlike any other ski resort in the world.
Yeah. They had that was pretty cool, I gotta say. Whew.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving to
Next
another
up.
part of the world for skiing. We got Lindsey Vonn falls while on pace for top 5 finish at Super G in Cortina, but avoids injury again. So while she fell, she was in Cortina, which is where the next Winter Olympics is going to be. She was in the middle of the Cortina course following her second fall in 4 days at the resort that she once dominated. She slammed the snow angrily with her right pole, got up, skied down to the finish, fortunate to have come away mostly unscathed again, and ready to assess the most difficult weekend of her comeback at age 40 with a new titanium knee following nearly 6 years of retirement. So she said it's going to take a little bit more time. I need to be patient. Um, I need to be patient myself and hope that everyone can be patient with me so I can just keep my expectations in check and just keep trying to get better every weekend. So on Thursday, she told the Associated Press on Thursday she plans to retire again after next year's Olympics when women's skiing will be held in Cortina. So she said, I need more training, I need more time. And I think it's actually kind of good thing that I didn't do this well because it leaves me really hungry for more and also hopefully for next year. So she was on pace for a top 5 finish in a World Cup Super G when she fell on her left hip coming around the gate midway down, and she slid down the course and came to a stop far away from the safety netting. That's got to be pretty terrifying when you think like, oh my God, I don't want to feel that safety netting, right? She avoided another crash downhill training on Thursday. So she said it's part of the process. She was 4th fastest in the second sector, and she was not even pushing it hard on the top. So yeah, this is going to take a little while. So she said she was skiing really well in general during the weekend. It was really positive, but couldn't quite put it together. So yeah, that's pretty damn cool. She's still hitting it. Sad to see that she crashed. Glad that she didn't hurt herself majorly. But it is a process, right? You go from being in the zone to taking some time off, and now she's got to get back in the zone again.
Yeah, it's definitely a process, and her being at 40 and having now having a titanium knee, you wonder how much she's thinking about that when she's skiing. Like I know you do a lot of mental exercises, you work with sports psychologists, you try to get yourself into the right headspace, but is it possible to completely tune that out? And it's one of those things, like the more you think about something or the more you try not to think about something, the more you're gonna think about it. So it's always got to be in her head. One interesting fact is that she holds the record with 12 wins in Cortina.
Wow,
Last and
that's
then
her spot.
Yeah, she had a solid last weekend. She came in 4th and 6th. So this is definitely a setback, but the fact that she's still competitive, like really competitive, and is probably, a little bit of coaching, a little bit of fine tuning, only that away from being on a podium is pretty impressive at this point.
So I also wonder, right? She had a lot of injuries and a lot of surgeries corrective throughout her career. Then she had this major surgery, which she said helped with the pain. And it was like that titanium knee replacement or partial replacement, whatever it was. So I wonder if is she feeling better than she ever felt before in the last few years of her career before having the surgery? And now it's going to take some adjustment to get used to being better, right? Like because it's different. Like every time you get a surgery, it's going to be a little bit different, right? So you kind of wonder, how did it change it? Is it, you got to get used to tuning it in now that it could do more things? Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, because knees and hips are
Nips.
interesting because you hear a lot of people who get hip replacement. They get it because they first get a knee injury, and then they favor their strong hip, which leads to hip mobility issues. You wonder if, with all of her knee issues, if she was favoring even just slightly the other knee. And now that
Hmm.
she's come back, the new knee is stronger, and that she can now, almost has to like tweak it back to that one. Again, there's definitely a lot of nuance that's involved when you have something like this going on. But again, the fact that she's this close and she's this competitive is a great sign, and hopefully
Yeah.
she can again get back, get healthy, and keep competing, because it seems like she really needs this in her life. If she doesn't have this competition, she can't sleep, according to her pharmaceutical ad for that whatever product for helping her sleep.
Oh
So
yeah, that's right. She keeps going back to it.
keeps going back. She needs that fight. needs to be working out, working hard, and tiring herself out. Otherwise, she's going to be miserable and unable to sleep. So,
Yeah.
Lindsay, keep getting after it. We got one more story here in the good old ski news. You know what sucks at ski resorts these days? Parking. Parking's getting expensive. It's harder to get. You know where it's really bad? Whistler, Blackcomb.
Oh yeah.
But you know what you could do if you wanted to avoid all those issues? You could buy a parking spot.
Nice.
Now, what
How
does a
much?
parking spot cost? About $110,000.
Damn.
Now, just remember, this is 110,000 Canadian dollars. It is very possible in a few months it could be the 51st state, and they could be using American dollars. But as for now,
Let me ask you this: can you use it for a camper though? Huh?
this is a conversation we've had on our little private text message chain. Right now, one Canadian dollar is 69 cents. Nice. So one US dollar, $1.44 Canadian. This place is 110,000. So let's do that easy math.
Oh, it's covered though. It's in a garage.
So that's
Pretty
about
nice.
76,000 US dollars, which is quite a nice little discount there. It's in a garage. We got some details here. It's a
Spot
big
number
spot.
106.
Spot number 106. It's next to a pole, which can be good or bad, depending on the size of your vehicle, because you can't like cheat over the line. When I lived in Hoboken, we had a spot that was next to a pole, which again was very good or very bad, depending on the vehicle you were putting in there. So here's what they're telling us here in this lovely ad. Never have to deal with the headache of looking for parking when you go skiing, hiking, or biking. Don't miss out on the fresh powder because you had to drive around to find a parking spot. Here is your opportunity to purchase a fully secure underground parking stall in the Glacier Lodge, just steps from the base of Blackcomb Mountain and the Blackcomb Gondola. This parking stall is conveniently located by the secure exit, making it easy access to start your day. Okay, now one thing to be aware of: maintenance fees, $809 annually. There is no pool for your parking spot, in case you were wondering.
Damn.
Property details. Yeah, it's one
Has the school
underground.
details in it, which is pretty funny.
What's that?
They have the school details.
They got the school details. Again, could you make that your permanent residence? Could you have mail
Yeah.
come to your parking spot?
Could you build a mini house in that parking spot? A parking spot size mini house?
Yeah, the first
About
thought
that.
I had, was could you fit a camper in there? Like, could you fit like if you had a
Oh, I'm
camper
not even
van?
talking camper. Fucking just build it out of wood right there. It's my spot. I'm building whatever I want in there.
Every square inch will be maximized.
That's right.
Again, look at the spot. There's an Audi. There's an Audi Q5 parked in the spot, and it looks like it's got a little bit of extra length. So yeah, I don't know how much
License plate
longer you could go.
KM856W.
British Columbia plates. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know how much longer you could get. I don't think it's parked too close to the front of that wall.
Oh, you
I'm
extend that
thinking,
out past that pole. You just take whatever you can.
yeah, I'm thinking you probably could get like a small Sprinter van in there, as long as it's one of those like super extended ones. I'm thinking you could live in that parking spot.
I'm thinking you build a wall right there at that pole, and then in the front of that is your little entrance, your little balcony that you could sit on, little lawn chairs, and then you have the grill out there, and then everything back behind that is just up to the wall, up to the ceiling.
Just
Boom.
tailgate life.
Apartment right there.
Yeah,
Mini house.
$76,000. This parking spot could be all yours.
Damn.
It's sad to say that $76,000 is not that bad for a parking spot.
Well, it's funny, like the cars nowadays, like I heard there was an ad for a car like starting at 80. I'm like, so this is less than about the price of a car.
There you go. It's like, do you want the spot or the car? You only
Yeah,
have one.
that's just one. Buy the spot, screw the car.
Ugh. It's
That's
crazy
funny.
up there. Crazy up there in Whistler. Crazy up there in Canada. But
Well, with
at
the
least you
price
can.
of some of this real estate, you wonder when like mass build outs of tiny houses is going to happen. Like, think about these little tiny cabins all over the mountain. That'd be quaint as shit, but like have like a little studio, tiny place on the mountain. Be kind of cool. With
That's the
electricity
thing.
and running water, and you good to go.
That's the thing that's probably one of the most frustrating things as a, you know, looking to purchase a ski property is like they only seem to sell super mega giant mansions or condos.
Right.
There's no in between. Like, I want a small, like 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Like, they don't make that. It's either 8 bedrooms or a 2-bedroom condo.
How about this little prefab you drop on the mountain somewhere? So you basically have to wait till the lift's open to go back up and get to your house. But you could ski down anytime you want. It'd be
Mm.
kind of cool. Or a snowmobile, right?
Or you
Like,
could hike up too.
or hike up. It's on the mountain. You got to get there, whatever you got to do. But when you're there at night, that'd be wonderful. Nobody around, just you and the bears. Be awesome.
I
You and the
wonder if
wolves.
I wonder if they could try something. This could be this is actually a terrible idea, but I still want to say it. What if they started building condos on the top of, or like integrated into the tops of chairlifts or gondola stations?
Why not, right? Something's got to hold it down, anchor it down with a whole big community.
Right? Because a lot of times they have. I'm just thinking about Whistler right now. You take the big gondola on the Whistler side up, and there's that. Is it the Roundhouse Lodge? I think it's called. It has that big lodge that's
Mhm.
connected to the top of the gondola station. Why not just put condos up there?
You burrow into the mountain and build the condos in there.
Burrow into the mountain like an evil
Right.
lair.
Yeah. Be like, I don't know, this thing goes down for miles. Just like there's like a discotheque, there's a bar, like there's a restaurant. Like, this is a great place, all hidden inside the mountain.
Okay, now what about this? Is it possible, without ruining the integrity of the mountain, to drill into the mountain, take whatever rocks and stuff you have, and build the mountain higher?
There you go.
You're just putting rocks on top, so we can actually go up higher to ski with because we're building inside the mountain.
Just top it off.
Yeah,
Genius idea.
I've heard dumber, not many, but I've heard dumber.
You could actually have an entire ski mountain if everything is under the mountain where it's all wide open. You don't see any lifts, you don't see anything, just trees and beauty.
Like an internal mountain.
Yeah, just like do your boring technology. Instead of a lift, you have a tunnel that goes up with like a little cart that brings you up the mountain. Then you have a whole underground like shops and places to stay. But then you suit up and you go outside. Boom! All you see is fresh snow and nature.
Interesting. It's almost like a Narnia.
It's a concept.
There's like a Narnia in the mountain concept.
Hey, we are 6 numbers away from making that happen. That's all I'm saying. 6 numbers, a Powerball, and a mountain that's for sale. We can make that shit happen.
Yeah.
Or we got to talk Elon Musk into giving us the ability to use the Boring Company to make it all happen.
Yeah. I wish
Right?
Elon Musk was a skier so like he could take the time to focus on ski related initiatives.
I think that's an untouched area that he should look at because if he wants to put people on Mars, what better way to start training than to be in the snow? Makes no sense, but I'm just saying because we can make it happen. That'd be great.
Ski
He
Olympus
could be the
Mons.
money. He could be the money. We could be the mind. How about that?
Ski Olympus Mons. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Like a giant resort up in Mars.
Well, Mars, the thing is, they don't have mountain ranges like we have on Earth. They have like this one giant mountain that's on the planet,
Yeah.
Olympus Mons.
Olympus Mons.
Check it out.
See that?
That might be one of our shirts we make for the summer. Ski Olympus Mons.
Everybody brags like, yeah, I skied the continents or I skied whatever they did. They're like, I skied Mars.
Ski Mars.
Mars. That's
It's
what
like,
I
oh,
skied.
you went to Switzerland? Guess where I went?
No, no, I took a little jaunt to Mars,
I don't know. Have
but
you
that's
skied there
only
before?
for non, non-baller people like everybody else. Just
Have you
saying.
been? Have you been?
Have you been? No, I like the summer there because in the summer you can ski wherever you want in Mars.
Mars.
Damn,
The next frontier.
man, you could have like some crazy camp there. You could have like a ski camp like nobody's business. Different gravity, different equipment, like
Oh man.
environment suit.
Different
Damn,
bindings would be necessary, different waxes. It'd be very confusing.
you got technology like just blowing. It's just the ideas are blowing my head out.
Because what's the gravity on Mars?
I think it's less, isn't it?
I think
I'll
it's
look it
less.
up.
I don't know how much less.
And then you could terraform Mars. That's the other thing with that. Let's see. So it is 3.7 times 38% the gravity of Earth. So not
Yep.
3.7. So 38%. So that's you.
So if you
could
weigh
be,
100 pounds on Earth, you would weigh 38 pounds on Mars.
man, that's better for your knees. You can
Better
ski
for
all
your
day.
knees. Better for your knees.
All day, bro. No knee injuries. You'd be like, oh, I fell. I'm good.
Think about
Oh, you could
think
do
about
that
what kind of like
backflip, no
tricks.
problem.
Think about the tricks you could do there.
Yeah.
Doing like
That
quadruple
backflip comes
backflips.
Yeah, it comes pretty easy that first backflip.
Oh my god, I love it. All right. Well, I think it's going to wrap up the ski news. So we're going to go into the main topic. And as I alluded to in the intro, we're talking booty. We're talking boots.
Booty call.
We're
Booty
talking
call.
we're talking booty. We're having a booty call here. And as I mentioned, I mentioned this a few podcasts ago. And if our friend the Puglisi's are listening, please cover your ears. I bought a pair of ski boots, and I didn't go to a boot fitter. I bought them online. And I did so because I had my reasons. Two reasons.
I got
The
to write to
biggest
them so they could just rail you out, man.
the
They will.
biggest reason was that there was a particular boot that I wanted, and I need a high volume boot, and they don't make a ton of them. I was looking for some very specific features. I want at least
All of
130
a sudden, you're
flex.
a boot fitter now, aren't you? Aren't you,
Because
Mr. Boot Fitter?
I'm a custom boot fitter. I know what my feet need, and I made the purchase.
You're a
Now I got to
blind
tell
boot
you this.
fitter.
I have to tell you this now because I've complained about our Surefoot experience. As fun as it was, as fancy as I felt going there, my first day in these stock boots that I did not go to a boot fitter for, I had no work done. All I did was take my old instep and I put it in these boots. I've skied on them 2 days so far. They have been more comfortable and more fun to ski in than my stupid Surefoot boots every single day. There was never been a day on those Surefoot boots that was more comfortable than the first 2 days in these new Fisher boots that I bought. It's
Wow.
unbelievable.
You're pro
I
fish.
can't even tell you. What's that?
Pro fish.
Pro
You're pro
fish.
fisher.
Very
Pro
proficient.
fish.
So yeah, I got them. They've been great so far. They're super comfortable. Perfect? No, but very close. And I even got away. This is the best part of it is that they're the same length, so I didn't have to get new like bindings or bindings re-drilled. They fit into my bindings the exact
Did you
same.
look for that? That just happened.
I did. I definitely cheat. I think they're like 1 or 2 millimeters off, but it's not enough for me to have to need to do anything to the bindings, which was huge. So that was great. But yes, we're talking about more boot stuff. And again, one thing, the only sad thing about my new boots is that they don't have BOA because everyone loves BOA. And you know who really loves
You don't have
BOA?
boa, you don't have Noah.
Do you know who really, really, really loves BOA? That is K2. Because you know what they just came out with? They just came out with their a couple pairs of their next year, quote unquote, next year boots. The Dual Boa Cortex series,
See, this makes perfect sense though.
double boa, because one boa
Why
was
have one
nice.
bow when you could have two?
Why have one when you can have two? Exactly. So this is the Cortex, which they got a couple different varieties of them, but this was actually on blister, and so they have this one as a 140 low volume. Again, now I couldn't even that's not even my wheelhouse because I can't even
You can't
wrap
even
my
do
head
this. You
around
got
a
nothing.
low volume foot. I got a beefy, like big fat, like porterhouse looking foot. So this little like
That's
smash
a
burger
vegan foot right there.
foot's like, I don't know what that's all about. But they're saying that these are a little bit lighter now than some of the other
Huh.
ones. And these feature the boa on the bottom because the current ones, the current one, wait, am I getting confused here? The current ones have the boa on the bottom or the top, the single ones?
The bottom, I think. The K2 Cortex is the older one, or the
Yeah.
original one, has a bow on the bottom and the snaps up top.
Okay, so there we go. So the boa is on the
And the
bottom on the
Cortex
originals.
Zonal has them both. Yeah, I
So
think
these
that's how it works.
they're just double boa. It's all boa now.
But this makes sense. Why not put, and you got two separate zones. You got the top zone and the bottom zone. Like that's what you want because they're
Yeah.
different, totally different. You can't have one boa. One boa does not solve all.
One boa to rule them all. One boa
Yeah,
to
you
find
can't
them
have one
all.
boa that's right. And then on the top, if you have the bow on the bottom, which makes sense because it gives you a nice grip on the bottom, the top is still with the old, clamps. Like, why not bow on top and bow on the bottom?
Yeah. This is actually, again, is a nice thing to see because
The
everybody was
original
excited.
boa is like the mullet. Party on the top, business in the bottom. This one.
Well, everybody was excited about the new when boa first came out. It was a huge deal. I guess it's going to work. And obviously, it's been such a success that going from one boa to two boa is it was kind of the next evolution of the technology. Now, again, if it didn't work, they wouldn't have done that, which is, kind of a sign that it was very successful. And
Let me
interesting
tell you
thing,
this, as I get lazier, as I get older, I get a little bit lazier. I don't want to have shoelaces or anything to like do with my feet. I just want to put stuff on. I want slip-ons for everything,
uh-huh.
right? So the boa, I actually I started replacing even my work shoes, which are dress-up shoes. I have a big boy job and I dress up like a man. And they sell these boa things because it's almost like your like spin shoes, right? You got the little dial. You actually they have like converter kits where you could put that on your shoes with the shoelaces and you use that for your regular shoes. So I actually started putting those on all my shoes because I'm like, I don't want to tie a damn shoelace. I don't want to deal with it. I can't be
Hmm.
bothered. I just want to put it on, tighten her up, and go. So the boas are just like that.
Well, now, Mario, I don't think we quite have the exact boot for you yet, but maybe we'll go back to the boa. Maybe not. Have you looked at the new Rossignol Vision boots then?
I was
Because
looking at those
these
too.
are
Those are
basically
slip-ins.
you just step right into these boots now.
You still got to tighten them up though. So I like the step in,
But the
but
step
I don't.
in, that is a big thing. So this is Rossignol's new boot, and they're saying struggle-free entry,
Huh.
real deal performance. That was my first question. Is like, what are these? These have to have like no flex. They must be super floppy, sloppy boots. But
Yeah.
Rossignol wouldn't do that to us. Skiers rejoice! The era of ski boot struggle and compromise has come to an end. Introducing Vision, Vizion, the world's first high performance ski boot with hands free, slipper like entry and exit. Too
I
good to
do
be
like
true?
that.
Well, it's not magic, it's technology. Boasting 3 unique patent-pending innovations, Vision is a revolution in modern ski boot design, focused on delivering the best skier experience in the history of the sport. Imagine accessing the real deal downhill performance of a 4-buckle overlap ski boot with the entry and exit so effortless it's literally hands-free. The struggles, the
Nice.
grunts, the groans of your wrestling with your ski boots has been replaced with a simple flip of a buckle. Whether you're sick of the struggle, have limited range of motion, or are finally ready to move on from your rear entry boots from the 90s, step into the future of skiing with Vision. Performance that's easy to step into.
Hmm.
Now, America's Best Boot Fitters did give it Boot of the Year.
Boot of the year. They
So
have
that
this special steel spine and spine link mechanism that I'm looking at a video of it.
Mhm.
I'm very interested in that technology right
Yeah,
now.
there's some cool like 3D schematic videos on the
Yeah.
website showing how it works. And there's a double buckle. So
I think
it
half of the
has
R&D costs were in these little videos they put
these
together.
are very nice. So the double buckle on the lower cuff has 2 functions, effortlessly unlocking and releasing the spoiler for smooth slipper-like entry and exit. Then simply close the buckle to lock in for real deal alpine power and performance.
Wow.
It's got that like that spoiler they talk about, rigid PU material giving you support and energy transmission of a traditional alpine boot, and then that steel spine and spine link mechanism. So now I
Very
think
cool.
I think it was the Lang Shadows that came out last year that had something similar, like a spinal, some sort of spine they had in the back of the boot that was supposed to make it
To help, like,
more
adjust
comfortable, more
it, like,
rigid.
for the right fit, right?
I think that's what it was. Yeah. So this has got something similar but different. So again, not a totally different, but enough difference that it's able to change the feel. And I mean, the entry and exit is the worst part of the getting into the obviously the worst part of the boot. I know, again, go back to my stupid Langs from Surefoot. Every time I took that boot off, where the bottom part of the shell, where the part like the overlap of the plastic, when I took my boot off, it would grind into the top of my foot. And I have to
Wow.
do this weird quick flip to get like I have to bend the boot around my foot, try to get it out, but it would always kind of hook on my foot. It would kill.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just again, I get I have a meaty porterhouse height foot. So that was
Hmm.
always my the biggest pain point on those things. And this seems
Damn.
to this eliminates it. Now, imagine this boot with double boa.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about now.
Or Mario, what about an app? What if there was AI built into your boot that knew the tightness that you liked? That as soon as you stepped in, it recognized that you put a chip in your foot. As soon as Mario's foot goes in there, it detects the chip and it just wraps
Suction
it
right in.
closed. It knows how tight you like it.
Back to the
Tight,
Future 2.
tight, tight, tight. What year did that movie come out?
I don't even know, but a long time ago.
1989, I think.
Yeah, and we failed our imaginations fulfilling that dream of having what was that, a skateboard? That was a hover
Hoverboard.
skateboard,
Mhm,
hoverboard that, like, suction to his feet. Like,
mhm.
why can't we have that? Nike Airs. We had the Nike Airs with the pump. Pump them up, man. I'll just pump up my boots and let's go.
There's a website called What the F Happened in 1971. If you want all the answers, it has it right there. We
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 could have a
left
hydraulic, just a little button pump and just psh, we
we
got
got
AI
off
now. AI can figure that shit out.
we got off sound money. We went to fiat money. It destroyed our buying power. It destroyed the ability to save. That's the reason why we can't have that kind of stuff. That's the reason
Can't have
why.
nice things.
That's the
Can't have
reason
nice
why.
things.
Yep.
Ashley Schaefer BMW.
Ashley Schaefer BMW. So this is awesome because it's easy, step in, step out. We got the K2s with the boa, double boa. And then
Double boa.
there's one other one. And this one, I think if I were looking at one of these 3 boots to buy right now, this is the one that I found the most interesting. This
Are
is
you
a new
jumping in this
boot
one?
This is this is the one that I found the most interesting. This is from
Hmm.
Armada. They have a new boot now called the AR1. And now I remember looking at my emails being like, because I subscribe to Armada's, I'm on their mailing list because I have a pair of their declivity skis, which I do really love. And I saw like, I'm like, it's like Armada's new boot. I'm like, Armada makes
Hmm.
boots? I'm like, because no one told me they were going to be coming out with this. And I saw that. I was like, holy crap, this
No
is
one
pretty
damn
sweet
told you.
because this is, because Armada, if they're going to do something, they're going to have Tanner Hall and the boys kind of doing the R&D in this. Like this isn't going to be just, we just kind of put out a boot that's the exact same thing as a fill in the brand name and just put our name on it. Like this is going to be a like a real innovation. So
Legit.
what they
Yeah.
did here was their goals with this boot was to meld out of the box comfort with performance that makes skiers stop thinking about their boots entirely, which is something, as a skier, I would love to never think about my boots ever again. Just have them just work, be comfortable, be great. To achieve
Yeah.
this, they combined aspects of a three-piece cabrio shell design with the facets of a traditional overlap construction. The hybrid design is meant to deliver the ease of entry that comes with a cabrio boot, but with a linear flex that feels sluggish. Oh, without the linear flex that feels sluggish at higher speeds. What they did was kind of ingenious. They took a completely custom mold that takes a classic cabrio tongue and overlaps it with TPU in the forefront and the upper cuff. Easy entry and exit, progressive flex. The upper and lower shells are mated with a spine connection to deliver consistent power transfer. So you look at the picture of the boot, and yeah, it has that. You're like, is that an overlap or is that a three piece? So they kind of combined the two styles into one, which is pretty awesome.
Hmm.
That's one of my only ski regrets. Well, there's plenty of them, but one of my biggest ones was I never bought a pair of full tilt boots because I always wanted to try a three-piece boot. I know Dalbello still makes them, but I really like some of the ones that
Three-piece suit and a three-piece boot.
that's something like this is what Pitbull would wear if he was skiing. But this is pretty sweet because again, this is a combination of the two. That said, they don't have a high volume one yet, but this one is going to be this is going to be big. And again, this is for a company like Armada to come out and start making boots is kind of crazy. I remember we had an interview with Jay Leventhal a bunch of years ago, and he was the founder of Full Tilt and Line Skis and J Skis now. And one of the things he
Yeah.
talked about, because I asked him, I'm like, "Are you ever going to start another boot company?" Because you always want something a little better than what's out there as skiers for our boots. And he's like, no way, too expensive. What a pain in the ass. Never again.
There's a lot of tech that goes into it too.
And the amount of money it costs to kind of get the whole thing set up is kind of
Yeah.
the nightmare. You gotta hit a certain number to even remotely break even on it. So there's a lot involved in the build out. They do mention one nice thing about Armada is that they are part of Amer Sports. So that's Atomic, Arc'teryx, Solomon, which means that they're able to kind of leverage a little bit of the technology and some of the
Manufacturing
manufacturing
and stuff.
to make it a
Yeah.
little more reasonable. And they brought in Bransford Briggs, who he's the one who was the line manager, and he previously had been working with Matt Manser, the designer behind Atomic's Hawk boots. So they brought in some heavy hitters from the industry to create this boot. And they're saying their
Nice.
goal was to make a versatile boot that performs anywhere skiers go, railing carved turns on groomers, skiing steep powder and variable snow off piste, and skiing the park and the streets. Ex
The
racers who
only
follow their
problem with
kids around the
boots.
freeride team don't tend to like a linear flex. Progressiveness works better for a wider number of skiers.
So the problem with boots is it's not like you can go around like when you do like a ski demo day, it's easy to just try a bunch of different skis. It's hard to try on a bunch of boots and try them out.
Oh
So you
yeah.
kind of have to go by a lot of ratings and reviews and stuff like that. It's difficult. I got to say, boots is probably one of the toughest things to dial in unless you got the means to demo boots, I guess. I don't know.
And it's crazy because it also is the key to your success and joy as a skier. Because
Yeah.
if you hate your boots, you're gonna have a miserable experience.
So speaking of boots, I sent you in the chat some links for the Nike X Hyper Ice. So it's a recovery boot. But if you look at the technology in that, it is they do like the Nike pump. Why not put that in a ski boot? Like that could be the lining of a ski boot. Just throw that in there. Like a
Yeah.
lot of athletes use them for recovery and stuff.
Hmm.
But like that's what I'm talking about. Just push button and it suctions right to your foot.
That is pretty cool. And again, the one thing I like about, there's the Zip Fit, the boots or the boot liners, and they
Mm,
actually use cork in there, so you're able to get like a custom
nice.
fit. And those are people swear by those things, and
And they don't break down as much.
they
I
don't break
looked
down
into
as much. Yeah,
liners. So you remember when I think I had my Dalbellos and my feet kept getting really cold when we were in Killington.
hmm
So I started down this deep, dark, rabbit hole of looking at boot liners because like you don't have to replace your boot. You can get a boot liner. And some of them go for like just $400, $500 for boot liner. Like I paid six hundred
that's the
dollars for my
Zip Fit.
boots.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like, so you're gonna pay just as much for your liners as you are for your boots. Well, sometimes, right? If they're depends if you have the means and what you're going through. But yeah, it could make a difference. You can get like one boot and a different boot liner. You don't have to get the stock one. So
Yeah,
that's always an option, I think, when you get boots too. So did you get a new boot liner as well?
I got the whole thing. Yeah, I got
Wow.
the whole thing, and I'm still debating getting a Zip
The
Fit
whole
liner,
jammy
trying
jam.
those out. Like I'm
Oh, you
really
didn't get the zip fit yet, right?
no, I didn't. Um,
Okay.
I'm definitely considering it, but again,
Do you have to mold those or anything?
huh? Well, again, shout out to our friends the Puglisi's. There is a great thread on their message board, which gives the instructions on how to properly use the oven, your own home oven, and go through
Nice.
the custom molding process of them.
You bake them. I like that.
You could bake them, yeah. So
I
it's
mean,
a
the whole
very
idea is
thorough
you just heat them
instructions.
up to a point where it gets a little elastic and it'll suction, it'll mold to your foot, and then when it cools down, it stays in that position, right? As long as it doesn't
Exactly.
get above a certain temperature, you're cool.
Yeah, you want it melting and then putting it on your foot, and it just
Yeah.
burns you and scalds you, and
Oh my god, like hot cheese on your
it's
feet.
just like napalm.
Ah, yeah,
Foot
it's molten plastic.
fondue.
Go ahead and put your foot in there.
Oof, that's
It'll
problematic.
mold it, but it'll burn your skin all off.
Problematic. Yeah.
Problematic. Just don't put it too high. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, but these are Armada ones. These do sound pretty awesome. And kind of reading, this is a review on Ski Mag. And I guess the person who's doing it has a narrow foot, and their only complaint was that the heel pocket was a little big,
Hmm.
but they have a special buckle on top, like a really wide buckle, and it says it does a good job of keeping the foot rearward in the boot.
Hmm.
And the one thing they mentioned too is you have the thick tongue liner, calf spoiler, purpose built to take the space of the upper cuff to mitigate shin bang. Because that's one thing my new boots do. I have a little bit of a problem with shin bang. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Again, I got like kind of again, high volume, thicker kind of foot ankle thing going on. But I think I could probably make a few tweaks to fix that issue.
Hmm.
But
Damn.
again, Armada AR1s, and they only have actually no, they have multiple flexes, 5 flexes, 90 to 130. Oh, for this season, models up to the 110 are available 23.5 and 29.5. Higher flex models are available 24.5 to 29.5. Flagship is the 130 flex, $749, which features Armada's Team Tongue Liner and Dynafit Tech inserts in the toe, though no walk mode.
See, I think you should just take your boots, reach out to Phil and Trish. After they berate you, then you could say, then what else do I have to do?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
After they
Yeah,
tell you it was the dumbest thing to do, you go, how do I fix these?
I have my reasons. I have my reasons.
Sounds
But
like a
now,
good purchase.
yes, and they actually have a review on their site for the Rossi Visions if you want to check those out. I'm sure they're going to have ones for the K2s and the Armadas as well, but I did see the one for the Rossi. So again, it's cool having that these boot companies are listening to consumers and coming up with these new solutions, because as this technology evolves and goes across different companies, I think we're going to have the hybrid step in double boa controlled by an AI app that just automatically locks in your foot as soon as you step into them. So
Awesome.
I
I
like
want the
seeing
flip
this kind of
flop of ski
technology.
boots.
The flip flop of ski boots.
Just go on in and hang out on the mountain and walk inside, like multi-use.
That's the future I want to live in.
Gotta believe. You just gotta
Gotta
believe.
believe. Well, with that, I think it's a perfect way to end the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on the socials, Instagram, X, Facebook, Untapped, YouTube. Here at Ski Bum Podcast. You want to help us out, support us, go to patreon.com/Ski Bum Podcast. We really appreciate that. Looking for gear for working out off the snow? Go check out 10,000.cc. Use the code BSchneider15 for 15% off. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Stay high, safe, Luton.
See ya. Boom.